I never imagined I would return to Cedar Springs. 27 years building bridges across the country, and I swore this small Kentucky town would remain only in the faded photographs kept at the back of my drawer. But then the tornado came, tearing the heart of the community like wet paper, and suddenly I was driving down Highway 64 with a trailer full of tools and a strange tightness in my chest that had nothing to do with the destruction I knew awaited me. I was 62 years old. My structural engineering firm was half fixed up, handed over to my younger partner. My ex-wife, Sandra, was happy in Houston with her new husband. When I saw the news about Cedar Springs, about how the F4 had devastated 3 blocks of the historic downtown, something inside me simply knew it was time to go home. What I did not expect was to see her on the first day. The temporary town hall was operating in a large tent set up in the Baptist church parking lot, one of the few buildings that had survived relatively intact. I was filling out volunteer forms when I heard that voice, clear and steady, giving instructions about the distribution of supplies. My pen stopped in the middle of a word. Emma Grace Whitfield. I turned slowly, and there she was, wearing a reflective vest over a t-shirt with the Red Cross logo. Brown hair now threaded with silver tied in a practical ponytail, a bare face showing the gentle lines life traces on good people. She was thinner than I remembered, more serious too, but when she smiled at the volunteer beside her, I saw the girl who made me believe in magic when we were 17. As if she felt my gaze, she turned her head. Our eyes met across the noisy tent, and the world went quiet. I saw recognition cross her face, followed by surprise, and then something softer, more complex. She put her hand to her chest, an unconscious gesture, as if to check that her heart was still there. I walked toward her, each step seeming to cross not only the physical distance of the tent, but decades of choices, of lives lived apart, of words never spoken. "Michael Bennett," she said when I stopped in front of her, and my name and her voice still carried that same Kentucky warmth that made me feel at home. "I heard you became a prominent engineer somewhere far from here, and I heard you never left," I replied, and immediately regretted the tone, which came out sharper than I intended. But Emma only smiled, a tired smile. "Someone had to stay and take care of things. But I imagine you didn't come back after all these years to debate life choices. You came to help. I came to help. Well, welcome back, Mike. God knows we need all the help we can get." And so, in an oddly anticlimactic way, we met again. No drama, no great cinematic moment, just 2 middle-aged people in an emergency tent, surrounded by the smell of strong coffee and wet paper, with the work of rebuilding an entire town between us. See, but it was Emma who was running everything. I realized that in the days that followed, she was everywhere, coordinating volunteers, talking to displaced families, negotiating with federal agencies, bringing food to exhausted crews. I learned she had become the director of the public library, a profession that suited her perfectly, and that she had been widowed 5 years ago when her husband, a local farmer named Robert Chen, suffered a heart attack at 53. He was a good man. She told me one night when we were inventorying supplies in an improvised warehouse. "Kind, hard-working, loved this town as much as I do. Did you have children?" "No. We tried for years, but..." She made a vague gesture. "It wasn't meant to be. And you? I heard you got married." "I did. Divorced 10 years ago. We have 2 children, both grown now. Lucas works in tech in Seattle, and Maya is finishing her medical residency in Chicago. You must be very proud." "I am. But I'm also an idiot who worked so much I barely saw them grow up." I don't know why I was being so honest with her. Maybe because Emma always had that effect on me, making me want to be better, more truthful. Sandra used to say I was married to my work. She wasn't wrong. Emma stopped counting boxes of water and looked at me with those green eyes that could still see right through me. "Why did you do that, Mike? Why let work consume you?" "Because it was easier," I admitted. "Because you can build a bridge, see it stand, feel that you accomplished something concrete. People are more complicated. Relationships are more complicated. And you always liked things you could solve with engineering and math. And you always knew me too well." She smiled, but there was sadness in that smile. "I knew the boy you were. I'm not sure I know the man you became. That hurt more than I expected. But it was fair." We worked side by side in the following weeks. I led teams assessing the structural integrity of damaged buildings, deciding what could be saved and what had to be demolished. Emma coordinated the human side, ensuring every family had a place to stay, that children could return to the temporary school set up in the church, that the elderly received medical care. We were like gears in a complex machine, each in our role but moving in sync. And slowly, through shared work and mutual exhaustion, we began to talk for real. One night, sitting on the church steps under an absurdly starry sky, she told me about Robert. "He knew about you," she said simply. "On our honeymoon, we visited the Grand Canyon, and I was watching the sunset, and he said, 'You're thinking about him, aren't you?' I denied it, but Robert just laughed, said it didn't matter, that he had peace knowing I was there with him by choice, not for lack of option." He sounds like a wise man. He was. He taught me about patient love, about building something day by day instead of waiting for the wild passion of youth. She paused. "But you know what he told me before he died? He was in the hospital, knew he wouldn't leave. He held my hand and said, 'Emma, Grace, you made me happy. Now promise me you'll seek your own happiness, even if that means looking back before moving forward.'" What did he mean by that? I think he knew I had never really closed that chapter. Us. She looked at me. "Why did you leave, Mike? Not Cedar Springs, I understand that. But why cut off contact completely? We were friends before we were anything else." I sighed, looking at the stars that seemed brighter here than anywhere I had lived since I left. Because I was young and stupid. Because when you said you were going to stay to care for your sick mother, I took it as rejection, as if you had chosen this town instead of me. I didn't choose the town over you. I chose not to abandon my mother when she was dying of Alzheimer's. There's a difference. I know that now. I even knew it then, to be honest. But I was 23, an engineering degree and job offers in 5 states. I felt like the whole world was waiting for me. And it was, she said gently. "You built incredible things, Mike. I saw articles about your projects. The bridge in Portland that won all those awards. The overpass in Nashville you redesigned after the original started to fail. You followed my career." Of course I followed it. "Do you think I just forgot about you?" She laughed, but there was no joy in the sound. "For years, every time I saw something about Michael Bennett, structural engineer, I wondered if you were happy, if you'd found what you were looking for. And were you happy here?" Emma was quiet for a long time. "I was happy in ways I hadn't expected. Robert was good to me. This community gave me purpose. The library became my heart. But there was always an empty space, you know. Like a room in a house you never quite furnish. You know it's there, but you learn not to open that door." My chest tightened. "Emma, no," she interrupted gently. "We don't have to do this now. Maybe we never have to. Perhaps some things are just what they are. Loves of youth that teach us about ourselves but weren't meant to last. And if you're wrong," the words came out before I could think, "what if it wasn't about lasting or not lasting, but about timing, about being ready?" She looked at me with those eyes that carried decades of life, loss, and hard-earned lessons. "And you think we're ready now?" Two middle-aged adults with scars and regrets. I don't know, but I know that when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I think is whether I'll see you today. I know that when you smile, really smile, not that tired smile you use for everyone, I feel like I'm 23 again. I know this town is wrecked and there's work enough to keep 100 people busy for years, but all I want is to be where you are. She was very quiet. Then she said, so softly I almost didn't hear, I'm afraid, Mike. Of what? That this is just nostalgia. That we're clinging to who we were instead of seeing who we are. That you'll leave again when the reconstruction is over and I'll be left here. Older and more foolish, having let my heart be broken by the same man twice. I understood then. It wasn't about not wanting me. It was about self-protection, about having been left behind once and not being able to face it again. I'm afraid to, I admitted. I'm afraid I'm not the person you need, that I'm too old, too damaged, too used to my solitary life. But Emma, for the first time in decades, I want to try. I want to stay in one place, put down roots, build something that isn't made of steel and concrete. You would stay in Cedar Springs. The question hung between us. Would that be my answer? After a lifetime running from this town, building an identity as someone who belonged everywhere and nowhere, could I really return? I looked around at the streets, still full of rubble but also of life, neighbors helping neighbors, a community refusing to give up. I saw the church where we had gone to school dances in the gym. I saw the corner where the ice cream shop stood, where I'd had my first kiss with Grace Whitfield on a hot July day in 1980. I saw the library, partly destroyed but still standing, where Emma had spent 5 years of widowhood organizing programs for children and welcoming the lonely. I could stay, I said at last. If there's a reason to stay, I can't be your only reason, Mike. That wouldn't be fair. You wouldn't be. Look at this place, Emma. They will need almost everything rebuilt. Bridges, public buildings, homes. That's work for years. And I'm tired of building things in places where I have no connection, where I'm just the expert who comes, fixes the problem, and leaves. I want to build something that means something. For a community that means something. For me, for you, but also for me. For the first time, I want to do something that isn't about the next project, the next achievement. I want to wake up in the same place every day. I want to know my neighbors. I paused, searching for courage. I want to get to know you again, Emma. Not the girl I left behind, but the woman you became. I want to find out if what I feel is memory or if it's real. I saw tears in her eyes then, shining in the starlight. And if it's real, what do? We start slow. I stay, work on the reconstruction. We see each other, talk, have dinner together. We see if what we had can grow into something new, something that fits who we are now. And if it doesn't work, then at least we tried. At least we won't spend the rest of our lives wondering. Emma wiped her tears, a small hesitant smile appearing on her face. Robert used to say he had 2 life philosophies. First, never waste good food. Second, never waste second chances. Wise man, I echoed. He believed God doesn't give us challenges without also giving us the resources to face them. And He doesn't give us opportunities without expecting us to take them. She looked at the ruined town around us. Maybe the tornado wasn't just destruction. Maybe it was also clearing the way for something new. In the days and weeks that followed, something changed between us. We kept working, but now there was intention in our moments together. Shared dinners in her kitchen, where she taught me Kentucky recipes I'd forgotten. Walks through the town as it rebuilt, planning not just restoration but improvements, dreaming of a stronger Cedar Springs. Long conversations that ranged from philosophy to nonsense, rediscovering rhythm and comfort. I met her friends, the people who had been her family when Robert died. They watched me with initial skepticism, protective of her, and I didn't blame them. But slowly, when they saw I wasn't just passing through, that I'd rented an apartment, that I was in council meetings discussing 5-year plans, they began to accept me. 3 months after arriving, I was assessing the damage to the library when I found something in the rubble. It was a copy of The Great Gatsby, the pages yellowed and water-stained, but the handwriting on the inside cover still legible. For Emma, who taught me the green light is worth chasing. With love, Mike. 1982. I took the book to her that night. When she saw it, she started crying, laughing at the same time. I thought I'd lost this. It was on my desk. You kept it all these years. I kept a lot of things, Mike. Maybe it's time to decide what to keep and what to let go. Can me? Am I something to keep or let go? She held the book to her chest, then pulled me close, her forehead touching mine just as it had so many times when we were young. You're something I'm learning to keep again. Different this time. Wiser, more aware of the cost. But yes, Mike, I want to keep you. I kissed her then, and it was at once familiar and entirely new. It didn't have the desperate urgency of youth, but the patient tenderness of people who know fragility and understand worth. When we pulled apart, we were both smiling. So we're doing this? She asked, really trying. We're doing this, I confirmed. No promises we can't keep, no impossible expectations. Just the two of us, finding out whether love can bloom among the rubble. I think the best love always blooms among the rubble, she said thoughtfully. It's when we drop our defenses, when we have nothing left to lose, that we finally become honest. A year later, I was standing in front of the rebuilt library, no longer damaged but stronger, with better foundations and more space. Emma was beside me, holding my hand, while the mayor cut the ribbon. We still weren't living together yet, taking things slowly, but my toothbrush was in her bathroom and her socks were mixed with mine in the dryer. My children had come to visit and were surprised at how happy I seemed. I've never seen you like this, Dad, Maya said. Like you finally stopped running, and it was true. I had stopped running. That night, Emma and I sat on the same church steps under the same stars, but everything felt different. The town was healing. We were healing. And I discovered that what I'd said was true. It wasn't nostalgia. It was real love, the kind that doesn't ignore the past, but grows through it. Do you ever regret it? She asked, resting her head on my shoulder. Coming back? Never. Sometimes I think the tornado answered a prayer I was afraid to pray, she confessed. For years I prayed for peace, for acceptance, but a secret part of me, the part I barely admitted even to myself, prayed to see you again. To have a chance to say everything I never said. And now I'm grateful for the long roads that brought us back to the starting point. For all the life we lived that prepared us for this moment. For a patient God who waits until we're ready before giving us what we always wanted. I held her closer, this love from my youth that had become the love of my maturity, and knew I was finally home. Not just in Cedar Springs, but in myself. With her, where the wind had brought us, where the rubble had taught us to rebuild, not just buildings, but hearts. And for the first time in 62 years, I wasn't planning the next step. I was simply here, now, completely present. Finally home.